What's going on, bro? If you hope, I pray like hell that you get to see this person, bro. Sanchez. It's strictly for you. I'm one of your subscribers, and I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I think it's real important, you know, to save a lot. This is basically to save a lot of lives, I watched the last live stream you did. I think it's on Bro Sanchez Live, when you was talking about actually the pygmies, and that the pygmies are like basically the dwarves. The dwarves, Africa, basically so-called African dwarves. Pygmies from Africa, whatever the case may be. But you know how all compasses point to the North Pole. That's where the most powerful energy. I remember you speaking about that on your last stream, like I was saying. And fighting the powers that be. And one of my favorite movies ever is actually I don't know if you know about this, but it's called The Hobbit, and it's basically about the dwarves saving humanity, basically. And their mission was to travel to their homeland, which was called the Lonely Mountain. It's called the Lonely Mountain, and basically it was literally in the center of the earth. It was literally the center of the earth. It was a big giant mountain. And it was guarded by a dragon. Like, it was guarded by a dragon, and they basically had to fight the dragon. They had to get to the North Pole. But the purpose of this, and I know you know a little bit about quasi-luminous and his blood over intent thing. And what if we were never meant to stay here? What if, right? All the compasses are pointing to the North Pole for a reason. Maybe the fight that we're fighting right now is, to a sense, effortless. And what I mean by this is, what if the only way to actually win is to reach the North Pole and get home? We must go back home. And I think everyone that knows about the North Pole and the magical abilities and things like that, I think we all understand that at some point we need to go back home. And what if that was the whole purpose, to find your way back home? We think about this. We figured out damn near everything there is to know that's gonna actually help us. Like, we know that the powers that be, they control every asset of our life. That they design it to a way to where they're not actually slave chains about. We're doing it to ourselves, whether it be food, television, social medias, just fighting against each other, ill thoughts and things like that. So what if we just need to go home? What if it's just that simple? Like, we just need to just go home. And whoever comes, it's like you save who wants to be saved, and whoever doesn't want to be saved, it's just that simple. And it seems kind of harsh, me saying it and me thinking about it right now, but there'd be a casualty of war. But what if that's the only goal? Because, like, even how they say life's a game. The game is to beat the damn missions, to be all missions. We figured out everything we need to really figure out. We figured out where the most powerful energy is, where the most pure energy is. We figured out that we come from this place. We figured out that people live, and still to this day live around the North Pole. So my point is, basically, why stay here? And why? That's just my thing. Why stay here when everything is pointing us home? everything's pointing us home. And you know, for so long, I wanted to, you know, before I even stumbled into your channel, before I even became so quote unquote conscious, I always wanted, you know, everyone to live in peace and everything like that. But that's just not gonna happen. I mean, and I don't say it in a negative way. I say it in a I just understand certain things, and I understand that there's always going to be so quote unquote good and bad, which we understand is positive and negative, but there's always going to be high levels of consciousness beings, and there's always going to be low levels of consciousness beings. There's always going to be this symbiotic balance, and it's going to always go on. And maybe that's what the elites are really trying to do. They're trying to stop us from going home, you know. Because what if we can go home and, you know, there's other lands, there's other worlds. What if the start to really getting, you know, really healing this earth completely is to go home? It's just that simple, just going home. And I really hope and I pray that someone, or you personally, directly you, sees this and hears this. Because there's actually supposedly, you know, and I was actually following Quasi Luminous before I stumbled into you, and another guy by the name of Grim Nasty TV, which I believe you should get in contact with him. And because one, he can, you guys can collab together and do some real good work together, because he knows about, you know, like just think about it, bro. All the mythologies with the North Pole, right? They always end up going home, you know. Sometimes there are wars, but they end up going home. And this, you know, they're said to be the land of perpetual twilight at the North Pole, where I mean, like I said, I don't need to go, because you know that, like, you overly know and understand this. So maybe we just need to go home, bro. And I really think we need, you know, to go home. And maybe, just maybe, you know, this is the real fight. You know, maybe we can gather up enough people, right? Because you have a strong following, you have people around you who are connected to other people. You know people. So, you know how the Bible speaks of 144,000 only being saved? What if it's only meant for 144,000 of us to reach the North Pole and to start the ripple effect that you speak about? So, this is something I want you to think about, overly think about. Take some time and think about it, because maybe this is what the goal it is. Maybe we need to stop trying to, you know, we need to let these people do what they do, because the truth is the truth. You know, you can either deny it or you can accept it. You want to stay a slave, or you can want to be free. We had, man, there's so much information out about the North Pole, about the energy, about the people there. And I hear the passion in what you speaking. And like, man, you gotta see me in my damn neighborhood, man. You gotta see me in my neighborhood, man. I resonate with a whole bunch of shit you've been saying. I've been saying this a lot of, well, not as eloquent. And I don't know, I don't have the deep understanding, but I've always knew that the earth was flat. I always knew that there was more lands. I always knew that the government was full of shit and shit like that. So that's what started me. But it always been centered around the North Pole. And for some reason, no matter what's being done to us, no matter what we think we know, it always comes back to the North Pole. If all energy's pointing there, no matter where you're at, if all the mythologies lead there, let's go find out what the fuck is up there. Let's go find out what's there, man. Let's go see what we can do. And you know how they got the treaty? We can beat that shit easily with enough people. 144,000 people is more than enough. man, that's an army, man. That's like, we'll be like something like 300, you know, be mighty, man. 144,000 awakened beings, man. And when I was talking about this guy Grim Nasty, he knows about a lot about law and things like that too, man. I believe, man. No, I don't believe, because belief is not valid. I know for a fact that if you work with this guy and you collab with this guy and you build with this guy, and I'm not saying trust anyone, don't trust me, goddamn it, but this is something just to think about. Maybe we just need to go home, man, and we could start a fucking exodus right now, man. I mean, we really can do this. We can have an exodus, man, cause man, maybe time's running out. You know, maybe they're gonna. I don't wanna sound like I'm, you know, scared or anything. Just being smart. Maybe this is one thing that we can't win. One thing that, you know, there's always something in a game, something you just can't, something that's not gonna happen. And maybe we're just never meant to win this. How can I say this? This psychological, spiritual war. The way we're going at it, because I mean, yeah, we're making progress, but what would happen if tomorrow they cut off all they had it was a power outage or something like that? How would we connect? What would we do? They can just come and pick us apart one by one. We do this exodus, man. We together, we're a unit. There's strength in numbers. You know, to united we stand, divided we fall. I think this exodus is actually needed, and it's a must. And there's a plan going on. There's a plan been going on for a few years now, that about the exodus, about actually traveling to the North Pole. And bro, if you actually look on the damn flat Earth map, man, it ain't hard at all to get there, man. It's so much as you going up to Greenway, Canada, or of that nature, and just traveling north, man. We got our compasses. We don't, man. And imagine, you can imagine, out of 144,000 awakening beings, there's gonna be so many vegans, natural healers. We'll have everything we need to get to our destination, man. Everything we need. So I really pray that you can see this and you can get this, man. And if anyone watches this, if you have a way to get in contact with Bro Sanchez, Don, Dread, Vegan Warrior, man, I would really appreciate it. And Bro Sanchez, if you see this, man, please give it some thought, man. My name is Dave. My YouTube name is Davon Love, DAVONLOVE 2019. And man, I pray that you see this, because I've been thinking about this for some time now. And actually, when I seen your video, man, the video you did about the aboriginals and the Africans, and you going on about the pygmies, and when you said, as soon as I heard dwarf, all of the movies and everything, it just came out as, I got a feeling over me like I need to speak with you, to talk to you about this shit, man. So I don't want to hold up too much of your time, you know, but please give this some thought, man, because there's people living around that area, you know. If all that, I can't get this shit out of my head. That's why I might keep babbling, but I'm gonna stop so soon. But all I'm saying is, if all that energy's there, all that, forget what's on the outside of the range, you know. Forget what's on the we're talking about just going towards the North Pole. If there's still people living there that's been there for thousands or hundreds of thousands, millions of years, or whatever the case may be, and we're living the way we're living, And everyone's being pointed to Africa, Mecca, Israel, all this bullshit, man. And these are grown people. These are not kids, man. These are grown people stuck in their ways. They think they know everything. They think they're doing this. Or some people are just so deceitful. They love the environment and the life that we're trapped in, as I say. So I believe, man. No, I know that. I don't think this is a war we can win. Because what's going to happen if they start cutting off? You think people are going to want to hear or going to want to listen to what's then when they're hungry or starved or dehydrated or families being killed and people are running homes, rioting and all this shit? Because what's going to happen because they have the power to do this shit in a second. But what's going to happen when they cut off the power, they stop the food and the water, cut off your water supply? Man, people are gonna go fucking crazy, man. And by then, it just may be too late to even save ourselves. And even if that doesn't happen, why wait when we know it's something magical there? You know, why wait when we know that the heart is at the North Pole? So your heart should be at home. So let's go home. It's just as simple as that. Let's go home, and we can always come back and then we could come back with proof. We can film this shit. We can do a whole bunch, and man, we could come back with so much information, so much more knowledge and evidence that when we come back, the whole world will start coming. You know how the ripple effect goes. And all it takes is a small percentage of people to start this ripple effect of consciousness. We start 144,000, or whatever the case may be. We start an exodus. More and more people start, and then that's what I believe would be the only way that we get rid of these people permanently, is if we go home and bring home back here. And what I mean by that is bring the information, the knowledge, and everything like that. We bring it back here. That's because, man, you see every time, man, we got momentum. They infiltrate us. Every time we think we got something going on good for ourselves, they double cross us, or they paying people. They're like, I don't think it's ever gonna stop, man. I think as long as people value this. As long as we here, man, because as long as we here, there's gonna be people valuing money and things like that. So, man, please hear me out, man. Think about it real hard, and God bless, man. Think about this, man. We gotta go home. We must go home, man. I feel very strongly about that. Like, we need to go home. So, please, once again, if you can, reach out to a brother by the name of Grim Nasty TV on YouTube. He speaks about it, you know. He speaks about it too. He's a flat earther. He does a lot of spiritual things like that, you know, meditation, things like that. So, I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying trust anybody. Like, I know how you rock already. I know how you get down. I'm not saying you trust anybody. Nobody should trust anybody. But this is something to really think about, you know. This is just something to think. I'm here at work, man. I don't care, because nothing's more important than the truth. So I just want to be free, man. I want to be free. I want everybody to be free, man. Like, that's all, man. I don't want to hold too much of your time. I've been going for damn near 20 minutes talking, babbling. So, man, like I said, please just think about it, man. And we need a game plan about this shit, man. Let's go home, man. That's just it, man. Let's go home, man. God bless, man.